Hey everybody, welcome back. New episode. It's Friday. Inside Columbia Basketball, presented by Vandewater. I'm Mike Kowalski, joined as always by Kyle Matrician and Megan Ross. What's going on? Long time no see.
Mike, if I podcasted with you anymore, we'd be best friends.
What? We're not already?
Oh man, I thought you guys were best friends.
Maybe I'll just, we do live like 10 minutes away from each other. So, I could just move. I almost moved, actually, when I was moving to Jersey, I almost moved to an apartment complex that was even closer to his house.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
You know
house
what
next
I
door
would
is for
like?
sale, so, feel free.
I mean, that's true. Oh yeah, the house is still for sale next door?
Still for sale.
Wow. I'll have
You
to
guys
give it a
know
look.
what you would
I'll just
be
move in
like
next door. It'll be
if
like
you-
Everybody Loves Raymond episode here.
No, to relate to the kids, it would not be like that. It would be like one of the like TikTok houses, but it's just like the Columbia SIDs all living together.
Same block.
Like we don't see each other enough.
Columbia SID
We can go get Greg and Stacy. They've been moving around. I'm sure they won't mind.
You can make videos, you make content, same thing.
Yeah, we'll just get a table. We'll put it out in the street. Get a podcast table.
You just gotta come up with a cool name.
Yeah.
Like
we'll
a name for what? Like the block?
No, like the house that you guys will all live in.
Oh, so we're all living in the same house. I thought we were all.
Well, I
just
mean,
living on the
because
same
you're
street.
adults, I guess a block is fine, but you would need a name. You would need like a core name. Lions
so.
SIDs. You make it your own.
Yeah, when I was a senior in college, we lived off campus, and the name of our house was Emerald City. I don't know why that's a thing with college kids that they name their house, but we did too.
Well, now it's huge in like TikTok. There's like
Yeah.
a sway house and like a hype house. Maybe you guys are the Lion House. I see it for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be
see it
called
for
the
you.
Lion House. It's like a double meaning.
I have no idea what we're talking about.
What?
Like you're lying.
Oh.
Yeah, it sounds like
Puns.
Yeah.
Puns.
Yeah, I know.
What fun.
Mike, what were you gonna say?
Yeah.
No, my question for you guys this week before we get into it.
Before we talk about living together.
What was your favorite Bernie meme? What was your favorite Bernie meme from last week?
Oh, I did see them in random places. Such random places, and I just saw one yesterday, and now I laughed and I forget. I mean, you tell us, because clearly you.
Well, there's a few of them. I mean, there's just so many. It's tough to like kind of narrow it down, but I didn't know if anything kind of stuck out to you guys. Like obviously football, I think shout out to football. They did a good job. They put him like on the homecoming win when we beat Penn. They put him in the crowd getting lifted with Josh Wainwright.
That's the one that I saw. That's the one that's why I was like, I just saw one yesterday and I don't know. And that is the one. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Best one.
Oh yeah. You guys put one up too.
We didn't put it up. I should have. But this is made by Emily from Development. So
Oh, that's
shout out
right.
to
That's where I
her.
saw it. Yeah.
Oh my! It just took me that long to find him. I was like, where
You know what, though?
is he?
Like that took they were really quick on that, to their credit. So it was not even like front of mind, but that was a really good one too.
This was amazing, and I laughed so hard. So shout out to Emily. I didn't post it because we had a million things going up, and I just didn't, but I should have. It's definitely way too late. But I laughed so
Is
hard
it
when I
though?
saw that.
Didn't football just post it yesterday?
I think it's well.
It's died. It's died.
It's dying
done.
out. It's dying
It's
out.
done.
All right. Now you're just late to
My
the party.
actually, you know what my favorite one was? This is a little bit inside info, but so I live across the street from our town's elementary school, and there's always a line for pre-K registration. Obviously not this year for COVID, but it's a very competitive process. People camp out at like 5 a.m. in lawn chairs to like make sure there's only so many spots in it. So there was
Wow.
Bernie outside of the elementary school waiting for pre-K registrations for his grandchild. That was really funny. That one hit home. All the feels.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think it died down, but it was really funny.
It was
had
definitely
some
fun
good
while it
laughs.
lasted. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
all right. Well, that's all the time we have to yuck it up. So we're gonna get to the interviews. We got a good episode with Maka Ellis from men's basketball and Mikayla Markham from women's basketball. So we'll be right back with Maka. So stick around.
They say you play basketball, you play football, you play tennis, but you can't play boxing. You have to fight. I remember the night where it went completely downhill. It was a massive tumor that had wrapped itself around my spine. Dr. Hartle, who was my surgeon, he aced it. They resurrected me. On August 9th, 2014, I became the WBA middleweight champion of the world.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Get back the life you love.
And we are back, joined by Maka Ellis, a junior on the men's basketball team. Maka, thanks so much for taking some time today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So obviously, you're from Las Vegas, but you're back on campus now. Tell us a little bit about what the fall was like being on campus. I know you're here too, and how much, if it's any different now in the spring.
Well, as we all know, we're going through these troubling circumstances. It's hard to make the most of it, but it is extremely important to. During the fall here on campus, I would say it was a little bit of an adjustment, for sure. A lot less social life, a lot more private. You don't see as many people. You don't get to hang out with your friends as much, or even for me, being a basketball player, I don't get to play basketball as much. It's a huge impact and adjustment to my overall life. But going into the spring, I would say I'm more adjusted and I'm ready for the spring. But it hasn't been too bad, given all what's going on.
And before we kind of get into other stuff, let's just touch a little bit on last year for you. It was a tough year for you personally. You had battled through a few injuries, right? It wasn't just one thing, or is it? So how frustrating was that? And then maybe talk about how maybe this extra time off might be a little bit of a blessing as you were recovering and everything.
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't get to play much last year because I had a little tinge of injuries that kind of took a toll on my body. Made it real hard to train, play, even exercise. But thankfully, it did teach me a lot of patience. It taught me how to be hungry again. I would say it also taught me a lot of discipline. Going into practice and not being able to actually participate physically. I was able to learn a lot, see from outside perspective, see from almost a coach's perspective. And, going into this year with the cancellation of the season, just even more patience. I'm even more hungry to go out there for, my senior year and enjoy the experience again.
And then one more thing on that, because unfortunately you're the third straight person we've talked to that's had to deal with injuries here on the Inside Columbia Basketball podcast. What's it like working with Semi Abreu and Tommy Sheehan, who kind of helped the rehab process? Semi's the men's basketball trainer and Tommy's the strength coach.
Without those two cool components to our program, I don't know how I would have made it either physically or mentally through, recovering. Semi and Coach Tommy were there step by step, pretty much, and held me through, the tough situations. They helped get me through a lot of tough situations mentally. And with the injury, Semi and Coach Tommy are both there on a on-call notice. They helped me build back my strength. They helped me do the necessary rehab and see the necessary people for my injuries. And for that, I'm grateful, and I'm also feeling as better as ever. So,
I want to talk to you about kind of taking, the color seat here in the chair that I'm in today. Growing up how much time did you spend in Las Vegas over the pandemic?
I only spent necessarily the summer. I went and spent time with my family, got to see them. Very limited exposure to Las Vegas. I didn't see much friends or anything. Just stuck to home, kept it safe, and just trained a little bit.
No, it's funny. You're the second person we've talked to, and I don't remember which was the Roarcast or the Inside Columbia Basketball podcast, but somebody we just talked to recently was also from Las Vegas. Who was it, Mike? Remind me. Do you know? I can't remember. It's okay.
It's all a blur. We
So it
do a
is.
lot of podcasts.
Did you grow up like near the Strip at all? Like downtown Las Vegas, or like on the outskirts, or?
So yeah, being from Las Vegas, I recognize that a lot of people know Las Vegas for the Strip and the entertainment sector and all that. But I actually grew up about 30-40 minutes away from the Strip, kind of by the mountains. By high school, I went to Sierra Vista High School. Loved my area. It was a great experience.
Nice. I asked because I've been to Las Vegas before when I was in college, and you're correct. Like a lot of people know Las Vegas for the Strip and all that, but we actually stayed with one of my friends from college who was from Las Vegas. So we got to see the other parts of Las Vegas outside of the Strip too. So that was nice. We actually went to the Hoover Dam when I was there, and I thought,
oh yeah, that's not that far at all.
Yeah, that was a really cool experience for me personally, because actually I don't even know if I knew, and it's going to sound terrible. I mean, it's like such a East Coast bias right now. I don't even know if I knew before I went there that Arizona had its own time zone. That it was like separate.
I doubt many people know.
That it was separate from Pacific and Mountain time. That is, half the year it's because they don't have daylight savings. So half the year they're in Pacific and half the year they're in Mountain. And when it's fun being at the Hoover Dam and crossing the bridge there, and you go from like one time zone to the next. And
for sure,
a little bit of walk. It's fun.
Yeah, I remember, playing AAU and grassroots basketball from Las Vegas. I traveled back and forth from Arizona a lot, California, that tri-state area. And a lot of times on road trips to Arizona, we would stop by that dam and we would, check it out, take some pictures. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. The road trip from Vegas to Los Angeles, and I feel like I've talked about this on another episode of a podcast probably a while ago, but that road, we drove out to Los Angeles, and that's like such nice scenery driving through, especially if you're from the East Coast, because you don't ever see desert like that, in mountainous desert, on that ride when you're in like very inland California, traveling down toward Los Angeles. So that's just my 2 cents on what it was like to be out in your neck of the woods there for, I think I was out there for a week or so.
It's a lot different than here.
Oh yeah, this is dry. So everybody always says it's dry heat. It's dry heat, but it's still hot. I don't care if it's dry heat. 110 is 110.
Yeah, true.
Did you when you came to Columbia? Did you I mean, I don't know how much time you spent in kind of different climates outside. I'm sure you traveled some, obviously playing AAU in high school and travel and stuff like that. But did it take you a little bit to adjust to the humidity factor when you got to the Northeast?
Yeah, I definitely would have to say there was an adjustment period for that. I am used to, heat to an extent, being from Las Vegas, we can hit some pretty drastic measurements in Fahrenheit, triple digits often. But here, sometimes I step outside and when it's hot, I feel like I'm sweating immediately. It's totally different. So I can feel the difference, but, to an extent, hot heat is heat. So it is what it is.
Yeah. And I feel like, not to have the stereotypical conversation with somebody from Las Vegas, but I did feel the need to ask. So,
what if, obviously there's not team practices or anything like that, a lot, limited team activities. What are you doing to kind of fill the time besides schoolwork and staying in shape?
Well, our coaches have done a tremendous job of kind of leading us in the right direction of workouts. We have players on the team who have certain, connections that can help us get, gym times, not often, but as little as it can be, it's helpful. So, along with, Coach Tommy, again, we have our applications and we have our workouts that we do daily, our movements that we do daily. We send him video. He gives us feedback. It's tremendous. So I feel even though we've been in this unfortunate pandemic, I firmly believe that I've been able to get better throughout it due to our coaching staff.
So, I'm also, we're on the same team group chat. What's your favorite motivational clip that coach has sent you so far? Has anything stuck out? He's known for kind of sending these motivational texts to the group, a few times a week.
To be honest, anyone that he sends in the morning and I get to see it early, I like to use that as motivation. I do like the activity in the chat for sure. It's good to see everybody active, so that way we still have that community and that family-like presence. And even when we're just like joking around, it's good to have, throw some jokes around with the coach and staff and everybody in there.
So what time do you, I mean, this is all very new to me. I know Mike's in on these group texts. So these motivational texts, like what time in the morning do you get these?
Ooh, sometimes these texts are about as random as a dice for me. It seems almost. So
I see the Las Vegas joke you just threw in there.
No, I mean they can come at like 7 in the morning. They can come at 10:30 at night. They come at all times of the day. It's
okay.
Coach has some free reading time, I feel like.
Mike, what's yours? I gotta ask you, Mike. What's one that sticks out to you? Motivational text.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but he sent something like right before I was getting ready for a run, and it like I was kind of like waffling whether I was going to go out for a workout, and I saw the text and I was like, no, I'm gonna crush this.
Wow. Did you let him know?
I absolutely texted him after. I was like, the timing of that text was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, no,
you just have terrific timing.
Yeah.
For sure.
I was like, I don't know if it fired the guys, but it got me through what I needed to get through.
Wow. I feel like Jim Angles has another career after his career here. Motivational texter. Maybe is that like instead of a motivational speaker, a motivational
texter. That's a good business plan.
That is,
Yeah, it's good to see. Just glance at on your screen. You already have the notification syndrome. When we see it, we want to see it. So it might as well be something positive.
Could sign up for that. Wow. We're giving you a business idea, Maka. Make sure
this has now become an episode of Shark Tank.
Yes, exactly.
We're gonna submit this. We just came up with that idea on the spot, and we threw Jim Angles in as the head of our business plan. Mike, add me to the list. I want to get these motivational texts. Some days, I talked to you about the ring fit, and I actually for the first time did back-to-back days yesterday.
Okay, that's progress.
Maka, I don't know if you know what the ring fit is, but if you're into finding different ways to motivate yourself to work out, it's literally a video game for the Switch, and it comes with like a ring, and it basically like makes you go through this game without me going too much into detail. It basically like you're playing through like a video game as a character trying to like defeat the boss and go through all these worlds, and you do different workouts to try and defeat the different levels. So I know. I don't want to take, I shouldn't be giving advice. I'm not Tommy Sheehan, but if you're looking for different ways just to work out,
you're gonna have to at least look it up. So
look it up, or don't, or keep doing what you're doing because you're in better shape than I am.
Getting back to basketball a little bit and going back to your time on the fall. There was a bunch of guys in the city living off campus. You were on campus, I believe, in the fall. So what was it like? You guys were able to play on some of the outdoor parks. Was there any really good landmark spots that you were able to play outdoors when the weather was a little bit nicer?
Being from the West Coast, I'm not too familiar other than Rucker Park with a lot of the landmark basketball courts in New York, even though I should be. But playing outdoors in New York City with my teammates, it definitely was a fun experience because you get that sense of classical basketball and competitiveness when playing an outdoor court, especially in New York City. And I don't know, we've also been working out, Riverside Church. I've heard about Riverside Church from the West Coast for a while. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like that's, we also had gym time at Gaucho's gym. So, there's a couple places where we've been able to, get some work in and also be a part of history. So
kind of like very only here type thing. Not a lot of places you're going to be going to playgrounds and have that, it doesn't really matter where you go. You kind of have that energy that's not anywhere else.
Yep. It's electrifying for sure.
So have you picked, we asked this to a lot of the people we talked to. Have you picked up any new hobbies since the pandemic's hit? Are you cooking? Are you binge watching? Are you playing an instrument?
Chess.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. Have some pieces right here. Got a chessboard right in front of me.
There you go.
Wow. Look at you. Maka, we have been thinking about having people go head to head in chess on our new Twitch channel.
I would I would participate. I've been practicing, had
Yeah.
my fair share of,
That's
a lot of
good.
players on the team,
Kyle
more than you would
recruiting.
think. More people than you think on the team are interested in a chess tournament.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We have a couple players.
That's good to know. Brendan Bissett, Amanda Goodwin, if you're listening, I think we might be rolling with chess on the Twitch channel.
Here we go.
It'd get very intellectual, very Ivy League of us to stream Twitch. I mean, to stream chess on Twitch.
Yeah. Who's the best player on the team?
I have, there's a couple rumors that Cam is pretty good. Kobe, the freshman's pretty good.
I can see that.
played him
I can
recently.
see Cam for sure. I don't know Kobe well enough yet, but Cam for sure.
Kobe and I had a good, 1-1, battle the other day. Need to run it back, the trilogy. And, I'm trying to get a piece of action from everybody. So anybody who wants to play me in chess,
Ooh.
I want all the games.
How many guys right now on the team would be interested? Say we had a men's basketball chess tournament. How many guys right now would participate?
I would say 6 to 8.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing it. Lock it in, Maka.
We're doing it.
We'll talk about the details after.
Yep.
Stay tuned.
Let's
If
get
you're
it.
watching
Back
us
to
on
Twitch.
Twitch right now, look out. We're coming at you with the chess tournament. Maka
Oh, yeah.
Ellis is maybe the favorite. We're not sure yet. Have you, speaking of chess, watched The Queen's Gambit?
Yes, I actually just recently have, and it was a remarkable show. I'm not gonna say it got me into chess necessarily. But it was very entertaining to watch. It was a very different show to watch. It was refreshing.
I haven't watched it yet. I was thinking about it, and I think this just now threw me over the top. I'm gonna have to watch
Oh
it.
yeah,
So it's a
Definitely.
series, right? I think what it was when I first saw it. It's on Netflix, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when I first saw it, I thought it was a movie, but it's a
Mhm.
series, right?
yeah. It's very original. I like it in that regard. So it starts as an orphan. You get this connection with her as she grows up and she matures into a young woman, also a chess prodigy. And you also have the component of the tension between Russia and America. 50 years ago. So it's a great historically it's not accurate, but it's a great representation of chess and that kind of deal.
Is there any new strategies you've picked up since you've had a little bit more time to play, or is it kind of like just honing what you've already known?
I'm still learning. I'm not. I don't like to consider myself good. Maybe decent. Pretty subpar. But the best thing for me is how competitive it is. I get to learn from other people's moves. I get to learn from my own moves, my own mistakes. It gives me something to think about a lot. It's something that you can continuously get better at, and so it's a great hobby that I picked up. I feel.
Maka, I feel like I like to play a little bit. Now I play on and off. I've been into chess before, and then I go a long time without playing. But I do enjoy the game. So I feel like maybe I'll take part in this chess tournament.
But yeah, let's do it.
Have you figured out the especially when you play with people that are fairly new to the game, you can like beat them in like 3 or 4 moves.
Oh yeah, for sure. I play some people every time they come over and they see a chessboard they want to play. Gotta give it to them.
Is there anything you can take from chess into basketball, strategy wise? Has it taught you anything that you can use on the court?
It's taught me a lot about I don't want to be cliche, but team dynamic. The way you move your parts around, the way you essentially coach your pieces, determines the end game of the match. So preparation goes into it. You have to read and react. Also I like it too because if you're losing, if you're winning or losing, you get different motivations to continue the game. So that's something that I like a lot. I enjoy that.
What do you do what have you been doing? What did you do over the summer to kind of stay in shape, and what are you doing now to kind of stay in basketball shape?
Well, yeah, other than the workouts that we do for the team, I've been doing a lot of extra. When I went home, I trained a lot of boxing. I trained boxing when I used to live in Vegas. So it was a fun thing to train that wasn't outside of basketball.
Natural when you're from Vegas. Boxing is huge.
Yeah, it is. It's a big sport. It's a big sport in Vegas. A lot of stretching. Having gone through some injuries and a tough time physically, I realized the importance of stretching. Before my workouts, I take huge pride in my warm-ups now. Haven't had much dealing like much negativity things going on in my body since. Diet even. Throughout the summer I've had a lot of extra time. You know, even now I have a lot more extra time, so I've been able to study physiology and even stuff that's good for my body. You know, just trying to learn every day and get better.
Is there anything you do that you feel like is very unconventional besides like I know you brought up boxing, right? But is there like maybe it's a boxing technique that you've kind of like taught yourself that you feel like really helps you with basketball? Like, is there something you do that you feel like is really unconventional?
You know, the thing is that, you know, when you're in boxing, you're always moving, you're always on your feet, and the number one thing is quickness and your speed. You know, it helped me a lot with, I feel like, my basketball dribbling ability. Doing, you know, hand movements and hand drills, in various drills, you know, has helped my, I would say, hand-eye coordination and hand speed in different areas, and also footwork in terms of defense. You know, like almost that when you move, I move effect. You know, it's similar. You're shadowing your opponent in basketball. You're defending, like you don't want him to get by you. You know, so it's very similar.
Even stuff like it looks like, you know, obviously you have to stay on your toes on both of those things too. Like that's you got to help too. I feel like.
For sure.
All right, Maka, that's all the time we have. Thanks so much for taking some time. It's good catching up.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Kyle. I appreciate you guys having me.
No problem. Thanks a lot, Maka.
Appreciate it.
So that was Maka Ellis once again. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, you'll hear from Mikayla Markham, who's also into fighting a little bit. So stick around. You'll hear more after the break.
Ooh, little tease.
We all know what comes with being a fan, the ups, the downs, and everything in between. Share a Coke with a friend. Coca-Cola, the official beverage of the Columbia Lions.
At Athletic Brewing Company, we've built America's first craft non-alcoholic brewery. We've created a lineup of award-winning non-alcoholic beers. Our beers are made with organic grains and start at only 50 calories. Athletic beers are perfect for anyone who loves being healthy and active, but also loves to enjoy great tasting beer with friends. To give us a try, go to athleticbrewingcompany.com and use code athletic20 for 20% off your first order.
Welcome back to this week's episode of the Inside Columbia Basketball Podcast, presented by Vanderwater. Now, joining us for part 2 is women's basketball junior. Can't believe I'm saying that. Wow. Junior Mikayla Markham from her home, as we know, in Manasquan, New Jersey, because we've seen that background before very recently when we had Sienna Durr on here. So, Mikayla, how are you doing? How's everything in Manasquan?
Doing well. It's going well. Got a couple of my teammates down here with me, as you said. So, it's been going good this second semester of the year.
So for everybody listening, remind us who's in the house with you.
We have Sienna Durr, Hannah Pratt, and Caitlin Davis.
Nice. So you guys able to do like anything fun, during this time, even though everybody's kind of not able to go out?
Yeah, we've been like cooking together a lot, which isn't something we like always have time for during the year. So like Hannah made crepes yesterday for breakfast, which was like,
Wow.
very good. So kind of just enjoying some time at home together, training and doing some simple stuff, fun stuff together.
What kind of crepes are we making?
She went for like the sweet side, so I went for like peanut butter and banana, but there's like I think Sienna had Nutella and strawberry or something like that.
Oh wow.
Any of this going to carry over to when you guys actually make it back to campus, or is it all just going to die?
I don't know. I don't know. It's not a time thing. Sometimes it's like an energy effort problem. So.
And like getting the groceries and
the space. You probably have a nicer kitchen at your house than.
Yeah, definitely. My kitchen is like the size of like where we live and at school.
I believe that. Shout out Hannah Pratt. She is, if you ever have the opportunity to have a homemade zucchini bread from her, They're literally the most amazing thing of all time.
Is that
So
what
good.
is that what her mom made last year on one
Yes.
of the trips? Was that the
Yes.
zucchini bread? It was.
It's amazing.
It
Little
was.
chocolate chip,
I'll
all
vouch.
of it.
I feel like zucchini
Really good.
sounds so bad too.
It does.
Like,
It
yeah.
doesn't sound
Yeah.
appetizing.
But it's good. It's very good.
Right. Yeah, it's not
That's
healthy.
in
There's
that.
like 12 packs of butter, but it's still
Sounds healthy for you though when you say
There's
zucchini.
vegetables in it. It's a serving.
sounds better. There's something green and it's inside. So
Right. It's like
we'll
fried-
take it.
like zucchini sticks. Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds really
Yeah.
healthy for you.
Right.
Michaela,
Fried zucchini.
have you do you partake in the cooking at all? Do you have a Mikayla Markham special recipe?
I actually cooked on Friday. I made some fresh pasta at home. That's like one of my favorite things. If I cook, I like go all out. So
Oh wow.
I made that for the group on Friday.
What kind of special pasta? I mean, there's lots
Oh,
of
I
pasta.
did I made a fettuccine alfredo, a little seafood in there. So
From scratch, or are we using the box?
oh no, from scratch. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that's impressive. That's impressive.
I made the dough, cut up the
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, made the pasta from scratch.
yeah. I told you when I cook, I go all out. Like
Homemade pasta.
Well,
It's
for
very
some people, going all out is like, well, I went to the grocery store and actually bought the pasta myself and cooked it. That's for some people.
Are you speaking for yourself?
Yeah. Who?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever made homemade. I've never made pasta myself at home. No. Me going all out, making like a nice pasta dish is like going to the store, buying the lasagna noodles, making a lasagna with the lasagna noodles, the ragu that I bought from the store, not making the sauce myself, and just the cheese, just that, that feels like going all out to me. Clearly not at Michaela's level.
It's like a one time per year thing, so don't put yourself down comparing yourself.
Right.
Michaela's trying to pick me up. She's like, don't put yourself
Yeah.
down. It's okay.
Michaela's a pretty healthy eater though, I would say. Generally, right? You have a pretty like high awareness of what you're putting in your body.
Yeah, definitely. Stay away from those processed foods for sure.
Right. Is there any like main, because we have a lot of we're a snack team. We like to snack. We have plenty of snacks. Is there any main snacks that you miss from our bus rides? Because we always got like the most random things.
We're actually I don't have one I miss at all, but we were arguing about what's the best fruit snacks that you buy. So is it like the Annie's or the Mott's? I said the Annie's, but everyone else.
I'm definitely Annie's. Yeah. They
Are
said
those
Mott's.
are those the bunny thing or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Those are so bad. No.
What?
Yeah.
Because they're
so
like
bad.
cold because they're sitting on the bus. They're like the best.
No,
It's like
those are
having.
I can't. No, whenever I see those, I'm just so upset. I'd so much rather eat the Mott's. The Mott's are better.
Oh, the Mott's.
Yeah, the Mott's are better to me. But the Welch's, I mean, if we're gonna go top fruit snacks, the Welch's packs, but we don't get those.
New sponsor alert.
New sponsor alert. New sponsor. We're just throwing a bunch of names out there right now.
Yeah. People are like, what? What are you talking about? Mikayla, we asked Sienna this on our YouTube channel that everyone should check out, but we asked Sienna about your trip this fall. Can you give everyone like the itinerary of that?
So me and Sienna met up in like the Denver area, like the suburbs we drove out through Utah. Our first stop was Moab. We visited Arches National Park for a couple days. That was definitely like my highlight of it. Then we hit like Zion National Park, out through Vegas, and then through California to the coast, loop back around, Joshua Tree to Arizona, then New Mexico. Texas, I think. Yeah. We got to Amarillo, Texas, which is very random. Back through Oklahoma City and then to Iowa, and then I flew back home, and Sienna continued driving to her home in Iowa.
Wow, how long did that take?
It was like about a 2-week trip. So we
2
definitely
weeks. I thought you were gonna say like 2 months or something.
No, we only spent like 2 days, maybe like at most in each place, which was like, it was cool to see them, but there's a couple places I would definitely like want to return to spend some more time. But definitely nice to see that part of the country.
Well, you
'cause
got to tell us
they're
what those
different.
places are. What was your favorite places on the trip?
My favorite place was definitely like Moab for sure. Moab, Utah. I never want to go back to Vegas ever again. Like visit Lil, of course, but the city itself, I could do without. It's like I don't mean to like to.
Amazing.
It's
One
just, like,
girl's
big Times
opinion.
Square, yeah. Die in Times Square. I hate it.
What about Nashville when we went last year on that trip? What were your thoughts on Nashville?
No, I think Nashville is very cool.
Okay.
And like the food is like so different than like what I'm used to, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I would definitely enjoy that. Yeah.
So Mikayla Markham.
Why I picked that. I don't know why I said that.
It's okay. You said it, and we're keeping it.
All
She
right.
won't be having her bachelorette party in
Yeah.
Not gonna.
Las
She's like,
Vegas.
forever frowns upon anybody who does that.
So without telling the story for you, you went possibly skydiving.
Yeah,
Can you
that
give us the rundown?
So that's probably why I say Moab is my favorite place that we visited. We were like driving, so we went on like a really long hike one day, got terribly lost, and then on the way back we saw like a billboard that was like, "Oh, Moab skydiving, like $150 or something," and we were like, "Oh, we got to do it," like because it's always like way more than that, even though that sounds a lot. Not something that I like planned on wanting to do, but not something I like was like, "Oh gosh, I'll never do it." So Sienna wanted to do it, so I was like, "All right, I'll jump out of a plane with you." It'll be fun. It was actually
You
very-
are, and you know, shockingly, you are not the first person to have gone skydiving
Yeah.
over the pandemic that we've spoken to.
really.
On who was it, Mike? Do you remember?
Volleyball. It was on
volleyball. It was
So
Issa
yeah,
Lamos.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
The follow-up question. No, was Issa skateboarding? I think somebody else.
She was Yeah, you're right. Somebody else. She was
Somebody
talking
else,
about
yeah.
skateboarding.
Anyway, I want to bring that up because what was Coach G's reaction when you said, "Hey, I just went skydiving"? Was she like petrified or like mortified, or what was her response when you
She's
told
She's
her?
actually like the first person we called right after because I guess her and Sienna had talked about it a lot. Because I believe Coach G skydived before also. So we called her right away and we're like talking about it. She was like, "You guys better have gotten the pictures, right?" And we were like, "No, we cheaped out of that." So
How long did it take to get from like, or I guess how long did it feel like it took?
it felt like
Does it go by faster or does it go by slower than what you think?
it definitely goes by slower than you think. Because like you're falling like fast in free fall, but once the shoe is out, it definitely takes longer than you think to like get to the ground. So
Yeah.
I don't know how long it takes. It's one of those things where it feels like a long time, but it probably isn't.
How big is like the landing zone as you're kind of coming down to it? I mean, I know you're not dropping down to like some like target on the ground. It's like they have like, I assume like a big field that they
Yeah, and we
aim
kind of like
for.
hit the ground and like slid like type of deal. So yeah, it's like a pretty large area, I would say. And it's like by the like the airport landing, so
Yep. So do you have any photos of this?
no, absolutely none. Yeah. We took a picture after, but
No photo evidence.
no.
Man, I would have threw it up. Would have put it up there for the world to see.
Describe kind of the scenery when you were coming down. What were you able to like take in? Because it's not somewhere you're used to seeing.
Yeah, that was why I think I enjoyed it so much. So like Moab, like to me, it looks like how I imagine like Mars looks, like super red rocks, like really tall like rock structures, like for like miles and miles. And then like in like the super like way far away, like you could see just like a couple like snow peak mountains, which looks like totally different. So like you can like look at like two worlds, I feel like. So it was very cool. The best part to me was like the plane ride up to jumping out. So
Yeah, when we spoke to the volleyball team, I remember them, whoever went skydiving, and I'm really upset at myself for not remembering who it was, said the kind of like the scariest part was when they open the door and you're just flying and the door's open right next to you and it's just the craziest thing.
yeah, and then like the girl in front of me went and her body just like went sideways and I was like, oh god. Yeah.
I'm not a heights person. Part of me feels like I would get up there. I'd have to give myself a pep talk. I would jump, but there would be like about 5 seconds where I'd be like, I am not doing this.
Yeah, I mean,
I would-
once you get in the plane, I mean, you're gonna do
Yeah.
it. It's
And
at
you're
that
strapped
point,
to somebody else, and
and you're strapped to somebody else. They're just so. Was there anybody up there with you that was having second thoughts? Like, how many people were up in the plane with you?
It was me, Sienna, and then like 2 other people who were jumping besides like the instructors we were like attached to. So like 4 jumpers, I would say.
Did anybody have second thoughts, or was everybody just 100% in on it?
They may have had second thoughts, but the people are kind of like the instructors are kind of just like you're on them and they just like jump out, so you don't really
So
have
you don't really have a choice once
Yeah.
you're in
yeah.
there.
I think if it were that way, like you had to like physically jump, a lot less people would do it.
Do it, yeah.
Actually do it, yeah.
So.
Yeah, it makes you feel better too. And you have, I mean, I'm sure, sure it makes anybody feel better, especially if they haven't gone skydiving before, to have the instructor attached to you, because you feel like, okay, they've done this. They don't want to die.
Yeah. That was my biggest fear. I didn't want to like mess him up and like
Just don't screw it up, man. Oh my gosh. No, I could never. So I don't ever see that as something I would do. But I mean, you never know.
hang out with Sienna long enough and
Hang out with Sienna long enough. Well, it's
Yeah,
probably
probably
not on my.
enough there.
It's probably
Yeah.
not on my. It's probably not going to happen for me. Mike, would you do it?
Yeah, I'd do it. I'm not gonna seek it out, but if I was somewhere where I saw it and would,
I don't even know.
just
I would.
why
My
not?
heart would be pounding out of my chest.
Only do it if it was in a beautiful scenery.
No, so you're gonna be
Yeah, I
picky
could see
about
that too. Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna go to like Pennsylvania to skydive, you know? Just
Well,
not happening.
Pennsylvania's gorgeous. Stop it.
Pennsylvania's great.
it.
Pennsylvania's great. I enjoy Pennsylvania, but
Certain
there's
parts.
parts that like where you can skydive. Like if you're seeing it's like skydive here,
It's
you're
just
like,
like an empty field. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I can't even like convince myself when I've been places and you see like the helicopter rides, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that. So I don't even know how I could be able to convince myself to go skydiving. All right, so Mikayla, getting back to basketball a little bit, what do you do, during this time to kind of stay in shape for you personally from a basketball perspective?
I try to keep like a similar schedule to what we have during school. So try to work out in the morning, and we have the coaches upload our workouts to like Fast Scout, an app that kind of makes it all easy to use. And so I stick to a similar schedule, basketball workout, then lift right after, and head back around 1-2 for class.
You were able to start right away as a freshman 2 years ago. Last year, you're kind of on and off the court with some injuries. How are you feeling now? Has this extra time kind of helped you kind of recover from those?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've kind of been thinking about this as like a longer summer, basically. Just kind of get that extra work in and work on myself and come back a better player. So
when you came in as a freshman, did you expect, and for people watching this podcast that may not know, you set the freshman record, Columbia's freshman record for assists as a freshman with 120. Did you know kind of coming in that you had a chance to start and play as much as you did as a freshman, like and start at point guard?
It definitely wasn't like an expectation I had for myself in any way. But I think coming in, especially my class, we kind of came in like recruited to like come in and start to like build the program. So I think we all expected to come in and contribute pretty early on in our careers.
I just want to get your take on kind of the team from your standpoint. You guys had so much success last season, and the program really over the last few years has, been on the up, just looking at the wins and losses, but even beyond that, like how competitive the games have been over the last couple of years, even in losses, compared to, maybe 4 or 5 plus years ago. What do you attribute that to? Like, what have you seen in just your 2+ years at Columbia that you feel like has helped so much?
I mean, I especially noticed the biggest change from year 1 to year 2. I would say like as a whole, like everyone on the team, not to like throw shade or anything, but like everyone, like everyone's like locked in and focused. I would say that's like the biggest thing. Like this is our school, basketball is our number 1 priorities. Winning is our number 1 priorities. It's a lot less like of a lot more people invested in the team and the process, I would say, for sure.
Explain the ride that you guys took last year from your perspective of winning, I think you guys were 2-4 in the league before that first Harvard Dartmouth weekend, and then sweeping that weekend and going on that 3-week stretch, which 4 weeks, I guess, where you won 6 in a row. Like, describe from your perspective kind of how that felt, and kind of all the motions around that.
It was very exciting, especially after the first. Like, that was all of our first sweep. Everyone on the team, I believe, beside, like, including Jay. So the first in a while. So it was very exciting, and I would say we kind of just like carried our momentum from weekend to weekend, knowing that like we could handle anyone in the league, and just staying consistent, not getting like, I would say our first year we would have like a big win Friday and play overconfident starting out the game on Saturday. I would say that's something we kind of just like stayed more level-headed with like all the excitement, but let momentum carry us from game to game.
And I want to see if your answer is the same as some other people that we've talked to. So on that winning streak, you started it with a win over Dartmouth at home, and then like a blowout win over Harvard at home, then went and beat Brown and Yale at Brown and Yale, and then went to Harvard and Dartmouth and beat Harvard and Dartmouth to clinch the spot in the tournament. So of those 6 games, which of those 6 stood out to you the most as like the momentum changing game, or like the biggest win in your mind?
To me, it was beating Yale. I felt personally, of those 4, wait, is that 4 different teams?
Yeah, 4 different teams, 6 games. Yep.
They felt like the strongest contender and someone that like we were kind of going back and forth with for like the 4th spot there. So definitely beating them was like a big moment for us. Especially we lost big to them the first time we played them at home.
Exactly.
So it was definitely like a pride game, I think, for us especially.
Yeah, and that was the same.
We were just as good, better than them, and losing so big to them was really a bit demoralizing, honestly. So.
I was gonna say, yeah, and that was the same answer that Sienna gave and others that we've talked to. They said, the Yale game, it was the one that stood out to them the most at Yale. And what I find interesting, and I brought this up when we talked to Sienna, is it played out so much differently than how you guys had been playing a lot of your other games through the year, where you guys were coming back in the 4th quarter. It was you now this time you guys had the lead and were trying to hold off the team at home from making a comeback. So
we talked about mindset moving forward for the team because you guys accomplished so much last year. What do you think the mood is going to be when you guys are able to practice again? And do you think you're going to have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder with a sense of unfinished business almost?
I think definitely. We lost a whole year, and we're gonna have a lot of newcomers coming in, looking to like get in, make an impact early. So I think we're definitely gonna be really competitive and have a good excitement to the games and practices, and just have a better appreciation of everything. Just even like the hard practices and things that we don't necessarily like enjoy as the season goes on.
Has it hit you that it will be your senior year next year when you take the court?
Definitely. Not something that I expected in the slightest. That no one could have, but it'll be interesting. I came in with 6 players, and I'm graduating on my own this next season. So it'll definitely. I feel like I'll definitely have to have a different chip on my shoulder, knowing that it'll be my last time through the Ivies. So
a lot of your teammates did decide to defer. What led to your decision to stay enrolled?
I think I would say mainly just school, just having momentum from the last semester. I surprisingly do like very well with like online classes. So it didn't make a lot of people chose to do that based on like that being difficult. So because like I thrive like that, I think it was best for me in my grades and my postgraduate opportunities.
And you said you thrive in this environment. So like you feel like you can are you like a late night worker or you early morning, worker? What do you prefer?
It definitely gives me like a better flexibility around like training and working out. Just to focus a little more on studies, boost that GPA a little bit. I've taken a couple more classes than I would necessarily have during like the season. So just get some more credits under my belt early on. So
what else have you been doing other than school and basketball that's been something you wouldn't have been able to do if you were on campus?
And touring the country.
Other than going skydiving and touring the country.
What else have you been
Cooking
up to? Because
pasta, all that. Been doing a lot.
Yeah, I have been doing a lot. I would say a bit more time, like enjoying the area that I've grown up at, I guess.
That's fair.
Yeah.
This is probably the most time you've spent at home, like even when you were in high school. Because when you were in high school, you know, you're still out playing basketball, doing activities, going places, you know. So like this is probably the most time.
Retired. Yeah.
It's a retirement preview. It's a retirement preview. This is what it'll be like. Just it's a tease.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I feel like we ask everybody what shows have like piqued your interest during this time. I don't know if you're a big TV, Netflix, Hulu watcher, whatever it is, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Peacock.
So my whole family became obsessed with this show on Netflix. It's called Kingdom. It's like fictional, but it's about like a UFC gym. And now we're all like obsessed with UFC. So we're all like watching the fight and like texting and about the fight the other night because we're all obsessed with real and fake UFC now. So
is that with Nick Jonas?
Yeah, exactly. Good show. I recommend it. A lot of drama. My mom's obsessed. So yeah.
Oh wow, I love.
She wants to like get in the UFC.
So what did you think?
Your mom wants to get into UFC.
No, it's a joke, but like.
No, please run with it.
Yeah.
Please let the people
Never
know.
say it's a joke. Oh man, that'd be fantastic. She just comes out of quarantine, just like ready to go.
Like, kind of like fight me, like kind of like.
I was gonna ask you if any of your family members, you know, maybe wanted to like. I don't know if you have any younger siblings, brothers. That,
no, I just have an older brother. Yeah.
Okay, and he's
no,
not
no
trying.
one does that.
He's not trying to go UFC.
No.
Okay.
Well, you have those like UFC gyms. You can like. You don't even have to be a fighter. You can just train, like in there.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Over, yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to choose one player from our team to fall into the UFC world after graduation, it might be you.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I could see like KD doing it.
That's who came to my mind.
No.
That's who came to my mind.
No offense to KD, but I can't see her like punching another human.
I think
you could see me punching another human.
I could just.
That is what she said. That is.
Yeah.
That is
I
what
could
she
see you
said.
just being really good at it.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you're like quick and like that's what I like to make.
They
like,
are like
agile.
kind of my size, so I was like, maybe.
Any trainers out there want to work
Ronda
with?
Rousey.
Yeah.
What
We'll
did
be
you
interviewing her in 5 years.
What did you think of the fight on Saturday? What are your takes?
I predicted the wrong thing, like many people. I definitely thought
Let us know what the fight was. Some of us, like myself, what fight are we talking about?
I don't know how to say the other guy's name. McGregor,
Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
Poirier. I struggle with those Louisiana last names, but yeah, I definitely predicted McGregor. He was winning. It felt like for just by a little bit, like the first and second round, and then all of a sudden, those leg kicks got him. So yeah.
I think he's broke his leg.
Oh really? I did not know that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I think his leg is broken.
Mike, how long am I lasting in the ring, in the octagon? How long? How long would you give me?
I mean, considering you broke multiple bones
how long?
when you were golfing.
Yeah. How long would you give me? How long would you give me?
Like I'd say the walk to the ring. When
you to the ring, I'd stumble. Yeah.
Like the
putting on your robe.
Yeah.
Tying your robe on. Some shoulder might
Go
pop
to like
out.
close the gate and my fingers just get crunched in there.
Close your locker.
Oh, guys, I have
in there.
I have a story I have to tell you off air that I did to myself yesterday on accident. It's honestly too gory for a podcast. It's nothing like terrible. I'll tell you after. Mikayla, we appreciate you taking some time from your home there in Manasquan. Hope you're not keeping you from your teammates for too long.
No, all good, of course. I don't know. Yeah, thank you for having me. It was fun chatting up and seeing you guys.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. We appreciate it. And I'm sure at some point this year, you can also check out Mikayla Markham on Live with the Lions, a new series on the Columbia Women's Basketball YouTube channel. So be sure to go give that a follow. It's Columbia Women's Basketball on YouTube, hosted by our very own Megan Rojas. Airs weekly. I don't want to say weekly. I don't want to put you on the pressure on there, but I think it's
every other week.
Every other week.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm sure she will have Mikayla on there, and you can get more inside interviews and go more in depth with the Columbia women's basketball team on that series. All right, Mike, that does it for another episode.
Yeah, thanks everybody for watching on Twitch. We'll see you next Friday right here, 10 a.m. for another episode. You can also catch us on Monday for a new episode of the Roarcast. So make sure you follow us on Twitch if you haven't already. And as always, you can catch us on all the major podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud. So make sure you look for Columbia Athletics. Give us a subscribe. Give us
follow, a subscribe,
yeah,
anything, whatever the channel prefers.
Yeah, any of those things.
Any of those work.
Leave some comments, follow us. But for Megan Rojas and Kyle Matrician, I'm Mike Kowalski. Thanks for watching or listening to Inside Columbia Basketball, presented by Vandewater. We'll see you soon.